In today's video, we're working on day 14 of the 30-day scrap quilt challenge. Texture include lace, denim, or corduroy scraps. Hi, I'm Jackie of Junkgal63 Studio, and here we do all things with scrap fabric. Our block for today is the classic Rail Fence Quilt Block, and we're giving it a beautiful textured twist. I'm using a mixture of light and dark denim along with a pretty coordinating floral fabric, and then we'll soften it up with some vintage lace. This one is absolutely beginner friendly, and I just know you're going to love how cozy and nostalgic it feels. If you have corduroy scraps, this is the perfect place to use them. I don't have any on hand today, but they would look lovely in this block. Now, the Rail Fence Quilt Block is one of the oldest and most beloved quilt patterns. It dates back to early American quilting traditions in the 1800s. The block was inspired by the split rail fences found on farms and homesteads. Simple, strong, and practical. Quilters used leftover strips from clothing and household fabrics to create this design, making it a true pioneer scrap block. For each day in this challenge, a new prompt helps you generate ideas and try something new. Anything goes. I've got a free prompt sheet for you to download. You'll find that link in the description box below. I'll be making each block 12 inches square, and on the last day, we'll complete the final block and assemble our quilt in a Quilt-As-You-Go fashion. And remember, no rules, no perfection. Let's get started. Let's go over the materials you're going to need to complete this prompt. 4 pieces of 2.5 inches by 6.5 inches light denim, 4 pieces 2.5 inches by 6.5 dark denim, and 4 pieces of 2.5 by 6.5 coordinating floral fabric. And remember, if you had the corduroy, you could work that in. I just have some vintage lace that I pulled out, 1 piece of batting that's 12.5 inches square, 1 piece of backing fabric that is 12.5 inches square, and your basic sewing notions. If you take a peek at our diagram here is where the dark denim is going to be. Here is the florals, and here is the light denim. We could go ahead and start laying this out. So we have a light denim right there, a pretty floral, and a dark denim. I promise, guys, today's project is so easy. You're going to love it. A light denim, pretty floral, and a dark denim. Dark denim, pretty floral, light denim, dark denim, pretty floral, and light denim. Let me move these up. And as you can see, we are basically making 4 patches. So this will be a 4 patch. We'll sew these together, sew these 3 together, sew these 3 together, and these 3 together. And then we're just going to combine them all as we have been. So easy. Now remember, sewing with denim gets a little tricky, and especially this one has stretch to it. So just take your time sewing. If you have one of those denim jeans needle, you might want to use that. I think I will pop one of mine in just to save me any grief down the road. But the first thing I want to do is grab some pins. I know I want to sew this side, pin, and then I can open this because I know that I want to sew this to this. So I could go ahead and pin that, just like that. And then I can just go to the sewing machine and sew those together. And I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll come back to show you what it looks like. And look how pretty it looks already. I just pressed my seams all one direction, but so pretty. Go ahead and do that for the rest of your strips. Go ahead and combine them, and then I'll meet you back here. All right, I have all of my strips sewn together, and how adorable is this? Now what you could do, if you wanted, you could just make one long strip set like this. Just do your strips, but I didn't have any jean material that was long enough to do that. But you could certainly do that and just slice them. Whatever makes it easier for you, you just go ahead and do that. And then this one goes like that, and this one here. But our dark jeans are the rail. But how cute. And then all that's left to get our block together is we'll pin these. These jeans were a little challenging to work with because they're stretchy, but just line them up the best you can. We'll put an extra pin in there. All right, so I know I have that ready to go. And then I know this is going here. Then this will go here on the edge. Put one in the center. 1/4 inch seam allowance. These two are sewn together, and these two. Next, we're going to sew these two together. And my main concern is I want to be able to match up these center seams so that they nest. So I'll pin that. Now these seams are getting thick. Again, just take your time at the sewing machine. I'll place a pin here. Other than that, there are no seams to match up. And then I think I will pin here and here. Let's finish up that seam, 1/4 inch seam allowance. This looks so adorable. This could be my favorite block for the whole prompt series. Be sure to let me know in the comments which was your favorite block so far. And we'll make sure we got 12. Yes, we do. We're ready to lay down our backing fabric, which is 12.5 inches, a piece of batting, like that. I think I'm going to lay down a few dots of glue on this backing fabric just to secure that. Make sure it's even on the back. And then I'll give this a quick press. We're now ready for our quilt top. Look how cute. And I am just going to do a little pinning here before I quilt this. And just keep in mind, if you're using those stretchy denim jeans, they do stretch. And I am definitely using my walking foot to do my quilting. All right, we've got that done. And look at this pretty blue lace. And all I'm going to do is add the lace right in the seam. This is already sewn right here. So I'll just go ahead and make sure I'm sewing right in there, just like that. And then I'll make sure I'm in this seam, or do I want to go like this? Yeah, I think I will. I'm not really sure. Nope, I think I'll go like this because I don't want to cover up too much of the floral, and it will enhance the denim like that. How pretty is that? So I'm just going to take it to the sewing machine, basically stitch in the ditch, and then I'll put it on this side, and then here, because what I was going to do is lay this down like this. And then lay this one down on top. I think there's a right and wrong side. I was going to add like that. But then this would take away from the denim, I think. So I think I'm just going to use this trim. And that will be my quilting, because I can add trim along. Have to see where my front and back are. There we go. I'll add trim along here. Yeah, that's going to be really pretty. So let me do that, and then I'll be right back. And make sure, because this is feeling pretty heavy, make sure you're using your walking foot if you have one. If not, Just take your time doing this, okay? I'll be right back. Look how darling this turned out. There's the texture. And then I added some gold jean thread. And I just meandered all around on the jean material. And then here's the back quilted. Just a lot of fun texture going on here, but we need to get it trimmed up. And you know, I'm thinking, where's my center? Right there's my center. Right here's my 6. And you're gonna need to put a lot of pressure on this. That's gonna take some muscles, because we've got seams going on in there, thickness, but we powered through that. Okay, and then I need to get the top, put my 6 back there, get this side. Let's see if we can do this. Muscle, muscle, muscle. Okay, we did it. Then we just need to turn this around, just like that. We've got our 12 here and here. So we need some more muscle. And some muscle at the top here. And look at that, we did it. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a Bible verse and a final thought to encourage you. Today's Bible verse is from Psalm 23, verse 3. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for His name's sake. Textures remind us that life isn't flat. It has layers, depth, and story. Denim, lace, florals, each carries its own history, just like we do. When life feels worn or stretched thin, God gently leads us back to places of rest and renewal. He restores our soul piece by piece, just as we restore scraps into something meaningful and whole. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Your kindness, your comments, your support, they truly brighten my days more than you know. And until the next video, God bless you.